Day 13, not much to report. I'm still sanding. I'm going to try to get this top block even lighter than I had it before. I'm taking it out to an even 1/32 all the way around. Or excuse me, 3/32 all the way around. And later on today, we're probably going to lay it up, jig it up. I've made the cowl, or framed the cowl out. It needs to be still mounted yet. But we're moving right along. The nose is shaped in. So later on this afternoon, I'll after I get all these pieces as light as I possibly can make them, we'll start the camera. I'll clean the table off. We'll draw our lines on the glass, jig it up, and glue it together. So we'll see you later on this afternoon. Okay, I'm not sure this is going to show up, but I thought that I would show this to people who don't understand what candling is. What I have here is a light, and it's on. I have a 100-watt bulb in it, so that it puts out some good light. And you hold your balsa wood that you're sanding out up to the light, and when you do that, it will make it's kind of a pink color, if you ask me, pink or orange through the wood when it's the right thickness. And you want that color even all the way around the whole project. And when that's even, you know that you have it at 3/32 of an inch. And this is what candling is. And I will continue to candle this until it's all the same thickness all the way around. And these little details here is what leads to a super nice model. And it really doesn't take all that much longer to do the job right. We're on day 13. I thought I would be a little bit farther along, but I did have to wait for some material. We have about, I would say, 130 hours in it so far. Coming out very nice. Not bad for all my old scrap wood. I didn't know what to do with it. And we're going to put it to use here in this classic airplane. I know it's boring to sit and watch somebody sand, but I wanted to show this candling technique for the simple fact some people don't know about it. And the pinker that it gets, the thinner the wood is. want to leave about 330 seconds all the way around. And that's about as light as you're going to get it. Now there's a little bit here that I can gouge out. And all this back in the tail, if you can get a gram out. A gram and a hard turn is a half an ounce. Ooh, got a bend there. And you just use whatever. Okay, I'm back. That was the neighbor was kind of going crazy out there. Had to get his car started. So anyway, keep sanding until it's all a uniform color when you camel it. Now, when I built my S6B Supermarine, I have a cowl on it that's extremely light. And this is really good wood that we have here. And I think it was extremely light because I'm sanding this with 80 grit. Okay. I'm going to sand it out probably down to 320. I'm not sure if that helps or hinders, but it'll probably get a little out of it. So I have a spot in my tail post there that I want to clean up. I have a router bit here that's round. I'm going to put it on the Dremel, and we're going to Dremel out the last little bit of wood on the tail section. This was probably overkill, but be very careful. This is an unprotected router bit I'm using, and it would probably cut your finger right off. Not supposed to use those router bits like that. But that's okay. We got it out without killing myself. So I have a piece of that oval piece of brass that I told you about. We'll clean up the last bit here. I started out 15 grams today when I started. It actually started out almost 2 ounces. Over 2 ounces when the block was new, but 2 ounces when it was cut to shape. We're down to 15 grams yesterday. I'd like to see it 7 grams, but that's not going to happen. That is just not going to happen. this is part of the build that takes the time. The actual labor of cutting the parts and gluing them together, it doesn't take much time at all. But you wanna, so you gotta remember, whatever I'm taking off here, I can put on and finish and not hinder the model. Because we do want I want a concourse finish on this airplane, because the original was like that. I do have high performance clear, but I think I'll just use dope on this. I just don't think there's anything lighter. Alright, well, let's weigh it up and see if we got anything out of it. Feels light. Still got to get to Harbor Freight and buy me a new scale. Haha, 2 grams. We're at 12 grams. Excuse me, 3 grams. Let's try to get it. Let's try to get 2 more grams out of it. Anyway, I'll cut the camera. I'm going to tinker with this until I get it down to 10 grams. It's possible. And I'll be back. So we'll see you in a short. Okay, where I'm at now, I kind of took a break, but where I'm at now is I'm building the cowl. I'm going to attach this up. I've laid it up in a construction method like this. Now you can do it any way you like. You can carve it out of a solid block, or you can laminate the pieces together like I have here. It doesn't much matter. But what I'm going to do before I go on any farther is I'm going to laminate 64th plywood onto the edges of the fuselage and onto the cowl itself. Then we're going to mount it up and bolt it down. Then I'll shape it. Then take it off and hollow it. I wasn't going to do this first, but I might as well. I don't know that I mentioned this in the last video. I've been sanding on this. I got it down to 12 grams. That's extremely good for a top block. So we got 12 and 7 on the bottom for a total of 19 grams. And that's a good thing. So my total fuselage weight right now, before hollowing the cowl out, is 172 grams, whatever that works out to. I'm sure that it's light. Let's look real quick. Six ounces. Now it's right at 6.02 ounces. So after hollowing the cowl out, I'm sure it's going to drop into the 5 ounce range. 5 3/4 ounces or somewhere in there. And that's real good. So I'm happy about that. It'll probably take me the rest of the day to do this cowl, or it's not going to be much posted up on Control Line Craftsman unless I can get this cowl finished. Then I'll show the mirroring of the fuselage to the wing with the jigging. But until then, I'm going to shut the camera off and detail this cowl up. It's quite a procedure. It's not anything that really needs to be shown how to do, because all it is labor. And you just glue the material. If I come across a spot that needs to be shown, I will. I will say this, how I'm going to mount this cowl is I'm going to glue a piece of 32nd plywood on the front of this, and I've got an 1/8 inch dowel here. I'm going to drill a hole in the nose ring and glue it through the plywood ring on the inside, so that it will hook down in this fashion here, and one hold down screw in the back. I've found the original pictures of how the cowl looked on Tom's. I'm not sure I'm going to do the dual staggered inlet that he had. It even has it on the chipmunk there. But he has one right over the venturi and then one off to the left towards the exhaust. I don't think that I really like that look. So I'll probably just do the standard round oval opening of type like that. But I am going to make the exhaust outlets just like the original had. It was 2 in the back and 1 in the center. Ordered the tank from Brodak. This calls for a 5-ounce tank. I have room for 5.5 ounces. I'm going to go ahead and put a 5.5-ounce tank in, and that'll give me a little extra in case I need to run more nitro or whatever. So, rest of the day is going to be tinkering on the cowl. I'll get back with you if there's anything interesting, so we'll see you in a bit. Okay, I thought I had something of interest for you. I have the cowl lined in 64th, and now I'm going to put a pin in the nose ring, an 1/8 inch dowel. And in order to do that, I've taped the cowl on to where it belongs, and I'm using a Jim Lee hand drill, 16th inch to get it started, and then we'll go up to 1/8 inch. I know this is it's not real exciting or whatever, but these are the small little details that you have to do to have a super nice model. So we have a pilot hole. Now I take the 1/8 inch bit. I'm going to follow behind it, drilling slowly so I don't lose any of the plywood. I'm also going to CA that, harden it up. So, the hole's been drilled. Should be nice and clean because it was done with a hand drill. We'll take a look at it. Very nice. And I'm going to make sure that the dowel fits snugly. Matter of fact, too snugly. I might have to go up the side. But we're going to glue this dowel in here, so snug would be good here. And basically like that. Then we're going to cut it off at 1/8 of an inch so that it comes just flush with the nose ring on the outside. Go ahead and harden this up here, because we are going to drill it out a little, the next side up. This is a light ply nose ring, so we need some strength on it. So that's basically that. I'll white glue this this nose ring or this dowel into this side, and when I get it to fit, then I'll cut it off and sand it flush with the outside. Then we'll do the mounting screw in the back. Then I can go ahead and shape the cowl and take it back off, and it fits perfect. This, because I'm doing it this way instead of like I did the Monado, I don't have a whole lot of jiggering to go on here. It's down on there perfect, you know. It's not going to be a problem at all. So I'm learning as we go along. So I'll be back in a moment when I get all this glued up. Okay, it's been all day making the cowl and hollowing this stuff out. I know that you know, you wanted to see some of this stuff, but it's all just labor, sanding and hollowing. And I got the traditional Tom Warden cowl inlet on there. Let's see if we'll zoom in on that. That's how he used to do it. And we'll get a preview of, or the profile of what the fuselage looks like. Fuselage came out 5 ounces. I got the cowl carved down to 1/4 ounce. And it's all hollowed out real nice. It's 8 grams, it's not 1/4, so it's a little bit over 1/4. I finished doing the top block. I got this down to 10 grams, which is a good deal. The bottom block was 7 grams. I've got that on there, but after dinner tonight, I'm going to cut the bottom block off, clean off the table, and we're going to install the wing. Now, the installation of the wing will, I mean, all these videos probably won't be available until tomorrow on Wednesday, because the installation of the wing is going to take some time, because I have to figure out the length of the push rod, cut and make the push rod, and the push rod's going to have to be glued while it's in the airplane. I don't really care for that, but I don't see any way around it because of the way this fuselage is. It's so thin back here. The fuselage has to pass, or the push rod has to pass through the tail post, which we'll put in after everything's installed. So I have to figure out the length, cut it to shape, the length. I can glue the one side on out of the airplane, but I have to do the other one inside the airplane. I started to sand the inside of the fuselage today. I tapered back the stringers, but we really won't get it sanded out until I get it all put together. And I glue on at least one, either top or bottom block, to hold it from moving. And we'll sand out the inside. Ordered the fuel tank today, 5.5 ounce metal tank. The plans call for a 5 ounce tank, but we're going to go with the 5.5 ounce, just in case I want to run more nitro, or it needs more fuel, or what have you. So I'm going to clean up the mess, and after dinner I'll be back. I'll lay out the layout lines on the glass, and we'll put it together. So we'll see you after dinner.